Welcome to Sips and Spirits, a podcast for those who love both alcoholic and spectral spirits.
Lovers.
Yeah. This is what happens when I have the mic here and my notes over here. It's like not enough table space, but I don't want to ruin our beautiful, ofrenda setup here.
Ofrendas.
All right, so in case I missed it, I think I did. I am your hostess, Chelsea.
And I'm the host, Eric. A little disclaimer before we get started. Facts and stories are presented from various sources, and we make no claims to tell the truth. We just want to be spooky or interesting.
Cocktails and spirits are tasted for the first time during episode recording unless noted otherwise. We are trying this cocktail for the first time, but this spirit is actually a very beloved one, near and dear to our heart. So we have tried this in several different variations, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to remind you that it's fine to enjoy the spirits, but don't let them possess you. We may be a drinking podcast, but we strongly encourage you to drink responsibly. As much as we enjoy you trying our cocktails, there's never any pressure to consume them. What are we drinking today?
So today we are calling upon a spirit from Araceli Spirits of Tequila, Mexico. We are using their Araceli Marigold Liqueur to summon La Catrina to the table.
I always want to go to Tequila, Mexico.
Is that a real place?
Yes.
I read it, I was like, is it really called Tequila?
Yeah, it's called Tequila, Mexico.
The question then is the spirit named after the place, or is the place named after the spirit?
I don't know.
Because tequila is so wide,
Yeah,
spread all across the country, right? Mexico's a country.
yeah,
Not a continent. No, my brain was like, it's country, not continent.
Yes.
You have way too many terms and counties and whatever.
Yes.
So my thought was, okay, is the spirit named after the place? Is that where tequila, the spirit, originated from? Kind of like champagne, right?
Yeah.
Now we call all sparkling wine champagne, but in reality, actual champagne comes from the region of Champagne. Champagne, right? So
yeah. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that somewhere in that region, or might be not in that region, just somewhere in Mexico, there is a tequila train where you travel on train.
Like a wine train?
Like a wine train. But what I was told is as you pass through different regions, you try their tequila.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So it's you're like, okay, we're here at point A, here's a tequila, and then travel a little bit, here's in a different region.
Wow, that's cool.
Different tequila. And then, by the end,
Party.
1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, 4. Kind of thing. But yeah. So,
cool.
Let's taste this.
We didn't get our glasses to try the liqueur.
Because we
haven't done a spirit in so long, but that's part of our episode. It's good to refresh our palate.
Well, luckily for you, it's hanging out.
Don't break it.
Right here. Pretty. Put that right there.
And our lovely Sips and Spirits glasses.
Shots.
I'm like, I could put it here on the bar, but I don't think anyone's going to be able to see it over the marigolds.
How much am I filling it up? All the way, halfway?
Do halfway.
Yeah.
Because I know you can't order it online right now. That's the thing I wanted to check at Total Wine, because I do want to have some for the holidays.
Holidays. We have plenty.
I mean, I think Araceli gingerbread cookies sounds like a great idea.
Fantastic idea.
And usually I'm talking about the spirit of it here, aren't I?
Mm-hmm. So, Jesus Christ.
So, shall we go ahead and cheers?
Cheers.
To Araceli. Araceli? Oh, it's so good.
If you haven't had a chance to, it's flavor.
The beauty of this is you really can sip it and drink it all on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a little bit of your normal alcohol. That burn doesn't come right away.
Nope.
It kind of sneaks up, so it feels very friendly, and it bubbles and spreads.
I feel like it's hugging my tongue.
I love it. It's
like I'm coating my tongue with orange.
It's like a honey spirit almost, but it's not honey. It's
No.
a very unique sweetness.
Yeah.
But it's not like synthetic sweet, if that makes sense.
That we've had before.
But you really can sip this on your own. How was it shooting it? Because I'm sipping it.
Like just went down smoothly. Like I got no burn at all. Kind of thing. Like I get the burn sensation.
I wouldn't even say like it's not a burn. It's a burn sensation.
It's a sensation of like alcohol at the end, but like it's smooth. It's not buttery, but it's buttery.
Yeah, I almost feel like so for all the Harry Potter nerds out there, like this would make a great alcoholic. What's that? Butterbeer.
Yeah, gross.
Well, okay. Reading about butterbeer, it sounds like the coolest thing, but I've read some of the recipes for people who make it and even like what Universal has made it into or created. And it's impossible to recreate real food from like books and stuff, right? From fantasy worlds.
Yes, like relationships.
We'll get into that later. I promise for everyone. But like, I feel like this is a better capturing of what I would imagine butterbeer would be like.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've never read it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm
illiterate.
Honestly, there are actually lots of other really good, fun, fantasy, magical wizard stories out there. So, but that's like my best way to explain like the sweetness flavor.
It's like so.
Because it's like I said honey earlier, but I'm thinking more when I say honey, I mean like the texture of honey, not the flavor of honey. But I'm trying to think of what would be a good equivalent to the sweetness of this. But it's so unique because the sweetness comes from the marigold flowers.
I feel like this is what this definition of sweetness is like. It's not sugar. It's not honey. It's not fructose corn syrup. It's like sweetness.
But it's not even like sugarcane sweet.
No, like that's what I'm saying. It's not sugar kind of thing. It's just sweet kind of thing, you know, and it has the orange.
But then it's like not sweet like a fruit sweet, you know?
No.
Sorry, you were saying it has the orange.
I mean, it has the orange at the end kind of thing, and it's like really nice. And then while you just like have it like just coat your tongue and whatnot, yes, you get that like burning sensation of like liquor, but not like the afterburn of it.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But anyway.
Ready to learn a little bit about this spirit?
I don't want to taste it, but okay.
Oh, yeah, huh? We have to try the drink. See, honestly, I feel like, okay, maybe we do need to go back to finding some spirits a little bit more often. We've been experimenting, for sure. Cheers.
These are very full glasses.
And if we had overflow. And these are actually pretty good sized cocktail glasses.
How much overflow we had? That's like almost like another cocktail right there.
And they call this a martini. So this is, we're drinking La Catrina cocktail, which we've never tried before.
Oh my God.
Ooh. So it has pomegranate juice, Chambord, and Araceli. That's
and
it, right?
Tequila.
And tequila.
Are you sure that's tequila?
I don't taste the tequila in here.
I added tequila to this thing, but I don't taste it at all.
How much tequila?
An ounce.
An ounce. An ounce?
An ounce.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really don't taste the tequila. Maybe it's the tequila we used.
1.5 of this, ounce of Blanco tequila, ounce of Charbon, 4 ounces of pump juice.
I would really like to try this with añejo.
Yeah, me too.
See how it differs. The recipe calls for a white tequila or Blanco. For those more well versed in tequila.
Same thing.
It is. It's honestly the same thing. So if you ever hear someone say, "Oh, I need a Blanco tequila" or "I need a white tequila," they're interchangeable.
That is the same thing.
Just like gold and reposado are the same.
Yes, and I guess I'll call añejo amber.
But I've never heard anyone call it amber. I've always just heard añejo.
I've heard amber for rums, but not for tequila.
So here's a little like tequila info for everyone who's may not be as well versed in tequila terms or just in Spanish in general.
It's not just Jose Cuervo, trust me. There's a lot better things out there.
Yeah, so that's La Catrina. Any other tasting notes to this? I love the raspberry flavor.
It's really good. I'm glad we went with the Chambord and not with something else.
Like a substitute, yeah. Because we were like, oh, well, let's see if we can. We don't have any Chambord. We've never really used it in cocktails. Now I'm going to use it in everything. Because I love raspberries, and I really taste the raspberry.
I'm thinking for our next cryptid, this would be a good flavor to add. Color-wise, anyway.
See, and that's where, like, trying the spirits is great for when we do the cryptid cocktails. Because we find new things outside of the spirit we're trying, right? New liqueurs. There we go.
Here we go.
So this is like a liqueur masterpiece cocktail right here.
Pretty much.
Because you've got the Chambord, the Araceli, and then pomegranate juice with the white tequila. No citrus in this.
Nope.
But it's not
lacking
in the tardiness.
No.
I think it's coming, that bitterness of the pomegranate juice is coming through as like the tannins on your tongue. Mm-hmm. That would normally be what you get from the citrus. Mm-hmm. But it's not sour.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. Words, they're not real.
Not real. But
anyway,
this is really good.
This is very fun. This would be like a great like Christmas party cocktail kind of thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or even just, I want to throw like a fall into winter.
I just want to throw.
Like kind of party gathering. Not party. Party sounds like wild and crazy. I want a gathering where people just come and hang out.
What kind of parties do you have that are wild and crazy?
Well, I go back to thinking about when we were doing Rover parties. Those were like, they weren't crazy, but it was like a lot of hubbub and hustle and a lot of people. And at this point, I don't know if it's my age or just my tolerance for people. It's like, I just want to hang out with like maybe 4 to 6 people, including us.
I was like, okay.
And just like sit and enjoy some drinks. And chit chat.
Very exclusive, just so you know. Only 4 people get to invite it.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to have like the whole party of 30 plus people anymore. That's not. It starts to get daunting.
I don't think we have 30 people to invite.
I don't know. Because we were figuring out Sips and Spirits invites and it got kind of wild there.
Well,
we had like. Yeah, but anyways.
Back
ready to
episode.
learn about Araceli?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah. What?
No, keep going.
Well, what were you going to say?
Nothing. Go.
Okay.
You ask my questions.
All right, so Araceli is Spanish for altar of the heavens or stars. And the only reason I add in that little stars is because our daughter is named Araceli. So we were actually turned on to this bottle. When I gave birth to my daughter, my mother gifted us this bottle when she was born. And I know I just repeated that, but whatever. So it's a very special bottle to us, and it's because it shares the same name as our daughter. And she is our little starstruck gal. So the brand's goal was that they wanted to represent love, honor, and respect, carrying with it a deep spiritual connection with people. So they wanted Araceli, the spirit, to be something that would connect and bring people together. So like that little intimate gathering that I was mentioning earlier. It is a spirit created by Victoria Araceli Van. The spirit is the world's first Marigold Liqueur and pays tribute to Dia de los Muertos, which, Happy Dia de los Muertos, that's going to be happening when this episode comes out.
Yay!
Yay! So I hope you are we have our little faux ofrenda with our marigolds decorated here. If you're watching on YouTube, we have our photos of those we remember. We're leaving some spirits nearby them to come and enjoy the party with us.
Let's fix that. Fix that. There we go.
Well, we've got like our ghosts. See, our whole bar is our ofrenda tonight for this episode. Or this morning, I should say.
You guys enjoy that. Not too bad, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, so her desire was to create a spirit that honored the love of people and family.
Aww.
She wanted the spirit to not be overly sweet, but also contain a high alcohol content, which is unusual for liqueurs. And I forgot to add it into my show notes, but this has a 35% alcohol by volume content, and it's 70% proof.
I get crunked up in this.
So it is, so for example, Chambord And I'm not going to find it on here, aren't I?
Nope.
Oh, here, right here. Yeah. Chambord is 16.5 ABV. And it doesn't have a proof on. Oh, 33 proof. So just from that, it almost tripled, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at this tequila bottle. The APV is 42%. So it's almost as high as tequila.
What was Araceli?
34?
No, Araceli 70 proof.
7? No.
And it's 35%.
Yes, I said 42%.
Okay, so Araceli is very close to, like, this is the Sassenach?
No, yes.
Yeah, the Sassenach tequila. How about Espolon? We're having fun here, guys.
No.
We gotta
Yeah.
make it entertaining.
80 proof, 40%.
40%. So this is only 5%
less. And
So
10 proof less.
It's very unusual. I wish we had another liqueur just as a random grab, but I think you guys get the point. And Eric's looking just like a bottle of wine.
Bottle of wine.
I don't know if they'll have it on here.
Here we go. 40% by volume, 14%.
14%. So the Araceli liqueur is stronger than a glass of wine.
Can you use it to
And that's a fancy glass of wine for anyone who was curious what Eric pulled out.
Can you use this for what's the proof or the percentage needs to be for
It's not high enough.
high enough for church
it's gotta
wine?
be for church wine?
Yeah. Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
It is pretty high though.
Yeah. You get crumped up on that too.
That's for another story.
Story time.
All right. So, it is handcrafted in small batches in Tequila, Mexico at 70 proof. Fragrant aromas of marigold flowers, candied orange peel. I wrote this weird, I'm sorry. Sweet on the palate with citrus and a hint of vanilla. Perfect to sip on its own in a cocktail or to add to desserts. It celebrates the mystic beauty of Mexico's marigold, which is called I apologize if I botch this, Cempasúchil.
I don't have that words.
It's on the back of your notes. Right there.
Cempasúchil.
Okay, I had it right. I was just fragmenting it. Cempasúchil.
Suchil.
Suchil?
Chile.
Chile?
Not chill. Chile.
Chill. I feel like I'm still saying it wrong.
Close enough.
The flowers are believed to guide the spirits, helping them to find their way back amongst their living loved ones. Marigolds are used to decorate ofrendas, gravesites, doorways, walkways, and crucifixes. Marigold flowers themselves contain unique healing properties and have been used around the world for medicinal purposes, dating all the way back to the Aztecs.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Can kill people with this.
Kill people.
Heal.
Heal. Yes. I heard kill. I was like,
No, not
that's
really.
not what they said. So,
That's really good.
yeah. Any thoughts about?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Okay. So, I'm Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up in border towns, Mexico.
Yeah.
So it's not like Mexico. That's like saying the United States and being like, oh, I live in California, where's the West Coast, versus like,
Oh, yeah.
Texas and Cowboy Central, So, like what the American, like stereotypical looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So, I grew up in cities, not in pueblos, kind of thing. So it's like, I didn't experience a lot of those type of aspect of things, but we did have ofrendas. I don't remember marigold being like a prominent thing, but we did have ofrendas. You did the whole thing. We did our papel chino. Our you cut up the paper to make it look like a little skeleton, fun things and whatnot.
Maybe you just didn't realize
Yeah,
you were decorating with marigolds.
No, like again, it wasn't like it's like they made an emphasis on it, so maybe we did it and I just don't remember, kind of thing and whatnot. But still, I do remember making ofrendas. I remember being upset back then because everybody would bring pictures of people to put in their ofrendas, and I had none because like no one was dead in my family to make ofrendas for.
I mean, you didn't have like great grandparents.
I never knew them, so.
But I mean,
and we never talked. We never had pictures of them. kind of thing.
I know I'm like quizzing you, but I only just recently came across photos that I'm seeing for the very first time of my great grandparents on my dad's side.
As far as I know, there was no pictures of them around.
Like, I'd only ever really seen, I'd seen one photo of my yaya's mother and father, and not together, but I'd never seen my papu's mother and father up until this past year.
I don't think
I didn't even know what their names were, all four of them.
I don't think I've ever seen a picture of my father's father, kind of thing. But besides him, there was like nobody else like who was like closely related to us who was dead. Right. So I was like, I never had no way to put in the open.
Well, what about like your mom's grandma?
We never had pictures of them. I don't remember making the ofrendas in my house. Like I know the neighbors did, kind of thing, because they had more relatives that were passed, kind of thing. But I don't remember making one in our house, kind of thing. And then I remember like going to school and being like, well, I don't have anybody that's dead yet. like what do I tell you?
Yeah. So if anyone's interested in trying this cocktail, because I think we're kind of wrapped up on the spirit, discussing it.
Yeah.
There's not too much to get into other than what I covered. Actually, their website had a lot of great information just about the Day of the Dead celebration. We talked a lot about Day of the Dead 2 years ago when we first started the podcast, and our episode also fell during Day of the Dead. But I didn't want to dwell too much on it because we had already discussed it. But if anyone is interested, Araceli's website does have all that information in addition to the cocktail that we made today, La Catrina. And you can even buy the spirit directly from them. Like I mentioned earlier, right now they're sold out, but we've seen it at Total Wine. I can't recall. I feel like we started to see it in Bevmo not too long ago.
I believe so too.
But I'm not entirely certain.
They have chocolates too, apparently.
But yeah, around November they start to release Araceli filled chocolates, which we have just not had the chance to splurge on to this point. And I'm really hoping maybe this year we can try and catch it, because I think last year they didn't. But I had a feeling just with that final recuperation of COVID and everything, it was hard to do. But yeah, so you can pretty much head to their website, Araceli Marigold Liqueur, and check out all they have to say about the Day of the Dead celebrations, about their spirits. They also make 2 other types of spirits, which it's weird. I thought I put it in my notes, but I didn't. They have a tequila and something else as well. I can't remember what.
Mezcal?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
It's like something else entirely. But yeah, definitely give them a check out.
Check out. Or write them a check. You can get some tequila. Or Marigold Liqueur. But anyway, fun times.
Yes.
Fun times. Enjoyable. We've tried this with coffee. That's besides the first time trying it straight up. We tried with coffee and it's just very good.
You just pour like an ounce or 2.
Pour to your heart desires.
Into coffee. It's really good with hot cocoa too. It's great drinking straight up.
It's adventure, as you guys have seen. We've enjoyed this quite a bit of times. It took us a while to open it because we didn't want to just preserve it, but then we started to open it and it's like, man, this is really good. Kind of thing.
Yeah. I think our first ofrenda we set up with Araceli. We had some.
Yeah. Anyway, so would you rather? So I don't think this is a spooky would rather. I don't know. You might give you a chill.
We're a little more spooky adjacent today, I think.
So in the honor of ofrendas and something, being all decorative and whatnot. If you were a haunted object, would you rather be a haunted mirror or a haunted box?
This is interesting.
Interesting how?
I think it's interesting. Why I made that comment is because you asked about being a haunted mirror or a haunted doll before.
I have.
So I find it interesting. We've gone back to the mirror. Apparently there's something about the mirror. would I rather be a mirror or a box? Like, would I rather...
No, I think the last question was, would you rather be stuck in a mirror or a doll?
Anyways. Oh, would you rather encounter a haunted mirror or haunted doll? Something like that. So, am I like the spirit haunting the mirror and haunting the box? Or
I mean, you're haunting people, but you're haunting through the mirror or the box.
So I'm haunting through the object. I'm not the object gaining sentience.
No, yes.
No, I know it sounds silly to ask, but I think it's a valid question.
I don't think we ever encountered a sentient mirror.
Well,
and no, you're not a mimic.
No, I was thinking more of like, I've heard stories of like I was gonna say druid, but that's a dryad becoming like getting cut down, but then being turned into some sort of wooden object.
Okay.
And the spirit, the dryad spirit, for anyone who doesn't know, a dryad's a tree spirit.
Or a Trent.
No, those are different.
The tree spirits too?
No, I'm thinking like Greek mythology. You have the water, the flower, the tree spirits that can turn into nymphs, essentially. And then they cause havoc for whoever then owned the object that was turned into their wood. So that's why I had to clarify that question. Am I just a spirit that's haunting through?
You're a spirit, I guess, trapped in either a mirror or, Pandora's box. Not Pandora's box, you're in the box. They open it up, you go, boo.
Vain me wants to say mirror. The love of Pandora's box.
Not the
story. Box. No. The love of that makes me want to haunt a box because people can't help but be drawn to the do not touch button.
Do not touch.
Right? A box they can't open. So
or a mirror to show on the cover.
I don't know. I can't. It's hard to pick one.
It's hard to pick one.
Yeah. You know right away, don't you?
No.
No?
I mean, I have my story behind it kind of thing, like you said, the vein in you, like your level of vein and my level of vein are like just a droplet and I'm like a waterfall. Because I'm gorgeous.
Well, you can still see me.
Yes.
And I'm going to look amazing. And people are going to be intrigued and also, I hope, terrified. But then I'm constantly being told how adorable I am.
If you look at a mirror and you don't see yourself, I don't think intrigue will be the first thought you get.
I don't know. There's some pretty stupid people in horror movies.
That is yeah.
That is true.
Kind of thing. So, being that, I'm like, getting people to see me and that. But I feel if I was in a haunted box, also, it'll be like a beautiful, ornate, like, I want to touch it. Kind of thing box. Kind of thing. No, and then, so I when I was reading this, I was like, okay, haunted mirror, you have the idea of the mirror realm. The world of mirrors. Where, like, you can just go through any mirror kind of thing and whatnot. Or you're just stuck in one mirror. While if you're stuck in a box, you're like a genie in a bottle. You're stuck in this place, which might not necessarily be small for you once you're in there, but also might be small for you once you're in there.
Itty bitty living space.
Kind of thing. And whatnot.
So,
but
it could be like a Jumanji situation too.
Could be like a Jumanji situation, yeah, where you just go into another completely realm kind of thing.
Well, I feel like, to me, the board has its own life and personality.
Yes, but that's not a box. I mean, it's shaped like
it is a box.
It's a board.
It's a board game box. What? It's a cursed game that's in a box shape. You don't know what's in it till you open it, and it changes based off the time that it's in.
Okay.
What?
No, yeah.
It's a valid point.
Okay, I'll take it to your point.
And it's wood.
Not all boxes made of wood.
No, I'm in Jumanji's example specifically. Kind of nitpick, really.
Yeah, answer?
I told you, I can't decide.
We can't decide.
Yeah, there's a concern you could get locked and buried away.
Forever.
Or you're attached to just one mirror.
You're locked carried away inside a wall, some basement, until some descendant calls and you call out, hey, let's be friends.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. What would you pick? The mirror?
I think I'll stick with the mirror though. I feel that's an easier spook satisfaction versus a box kind of thing. Like a mirror, what would you do a mirror besides breaking it? If you break a mirror, because you're still there, kind of thing. You break a box, like even then, like you can still be there.
Like there's so much like, even if you don't look at just the fear mythologies of mirrors. Mirrors are also associated a lot with superstitions, right? Break bad luck or using a mirror to see something from behind you, and
you could cover like a cursed mirror.
There's so much more.
So I feel that a mirror has a higher chance of encountering people. A box is gonna be found. You gotta be open. You gotta go through that positive. Well, a mirror, like especially nowadays,
because it's glass, people also don't like hide it into the darker recesses or whatever.
Yeah, kind of thing. It's like ornate mirrors or something. Like even not ornate mirrors, like people like love mirrors. People look at themselves, and they get to look at me too.
Yeah,
so,
I think innately we're all just a smidge vain, right? We have a little bit of narcissism in us.
Most people, yes. Yeah. So yeah, I'm picking mirror.
Okay. I'm still deciding.
Okay. We'll see how you feel afterwards.
Okay.
Our story has nothing to do with that.
Usually doesn't.
Nope, usually doesn't.
Fiddlesticks, guys.
I have to reread the story one more time.
Yeah. So you will have heard the audio change because we didn't realize till after we finished listening to Eric's story that our interface died because it runs on batteries. So we're going to pretend like we didn't read it, and you're going to tell the story again.
You got to pretend like you didn't read it. The boy had been out looking for work all day with no luck. When night fell, he was far from home. He decided to spend his night in an empty rundown house. The minute he lay down, he fell into a sound sleep. The boy was awakened quite suddenly by a thump on the roof. With a pound in his heart, he sat up and lit a candle. A voice called out, "Me estoy cayendo! I'm falling down." The boy scrambled out of the way just as a skeleton arm came crashing to the floor. The boy shouted again, "I'm falling down!" Another arm landed beside the first, then the leg, the chest, and the second leg. Before he could count to 10, a complete skeleton was standing in front of him, grinning madly. The boy lifted his chin and grinned back, determined not to show his fear. The skeleton was delighted by the boy's words. "Eres bien bravo, son. You are very courageous. You're brave enough. Are you brave enough to wrestle me?" The boy was terrified, but did not dare to refuse the strange apparition. The skeleton and the boy wrestled back and forth, up and down the room. Remembering the trick his older brother had taught him, he twisted suddenly and threw the skeleton onto the ground. "Canastas, you've won," the skeleton said. "Such courage deserves a reward. Come, I'll give you my treasure." The boy was startled. What kind of treasure would an old skeleton have? "Pick me up and carry me on your back to the next room," said the skeleton. "Remember to take your candle." The boy picked up the skeleton and put it on his back. Then he retrieved his candle from the corner of the room and carried the skeleton to the next room. As they passed through the doorway, the skeleton blew out the candle. The boy turned it on again, and the skeleton blew that out one more time. "Now stop that," he said, annoyed. The skeleton crackled madly. The boy lit the candle again, and the skeleton blew it out. "I'm going to drop you," the boy threatened. He lit the candle again, and the skeleton, once more, blew it out. The boy dropped the skeleton on the floor. "I'll break all your bones," he said. Impressed, the skeleton said, "You're so courageous and strong. I'll let you see my treasure." The boy lit the candle and turned to look in the room. It was filled with piles and piles of gold and silver. "I want you to promise me something," the skeleton said. The boy drew his gaze reluctantly from the magnificent treasure and looked at the skeleton. "I want you to promise me that you will gather all the poor people you can find in one day and give them each a bag of money. The rest can keep all for yourself. It would be a good thing to share this wealth with the needy, the boy decided, so he agreed to do that. Do as the skeleton had asked. The skeleton gave a happy laugh and began to disappear piece by piece. First his head, then his leg, then his chest, and then his other leg, and so on, until he was gone. The boy did just as he was promised, and when he had finished his task, he took the rest of the treasure back to his family. They lived in comfort all their days. No murder.
So, as I mentioned before we realized our interface had died, I love that had like a positive ending. There wasn't like a catch. Like, I for sure thought when you first read the story that he was gonna be like, after seeing the treasure was like depleting halfway through giving it out, he was gonna start to become greedy and start to turn poor people away or something. Like the terrible thoughts I was starting to think, and then the skeleton would come and like strangle him or something. I don't know.
Wrestle him.
Or feed him and make him drown in the wealth
Mm-hmm.
that he kept from the needy. I don't know. So I was very happy to hear that it was a happy ending, and he upheld his bargain, because you don't get those very often.
Well, I figured, since it's Day of the Dead, let's not have a spooky story. Something more lighthearted and
but
joyful.
Still that spooky aspect, like of the skeleton coming out of nowhere. So I totally missed. I didn't, when you first read it, I didn't realize that it wasn't his house he was staying in. He just found this random house. Yes. So what lucky happenstance that the skeleton was just kind of playful about it.
So breaking in can be rewarding and sometimes okay.
But what was with the candle situation?
I don't know. There's no light. He had a candle. He just messing around.
I mean,
kind of thing.
I think it's very interesting because candles are very important as part of the ofrenda building and the Dia de los Muertos celebrations. Is you have light everywhere in the dark of night. And like you're representing the 4 different elements through what you build on your ofrenda. And the candle, like the skeleton told him to bring the candle, but then he kept blowing it out.
Yep. Messing with them.
And I also thought it was funny. He was like, you guys are already on your way. That's why you're in the hallway with the candle to go see the treasure. And then you keep blowing it out. And then you're impressed by him again. And you're like, let me show you the treasure. And it's like, that's why we were here in the hallway to begin with, sir.
Yeah. Well to think of it this way, it's like you start going a path, and you make a decision to do something. Doesn't always mean like you follow through to it. Remember the Baba Yaga story? Mm-hmm. She went out to the woods. And then she's like, one person's like, this is getting weird and crazy. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go on. But then something weirder and crazier started coming in. I had to get out of here. And then she stumbles into Baba Yaga's kind of thing. So sometimes it's like, you're like, hey, you're cool right now. But let's see if it's just like a adrenaline thing.
Right.
Kind of thing. Then let's make sure you're still at it. The one thing that got to me, because when I found the story, we had just finished the Hilda episode where, what's her friend's name? The little other girl.
Oh, uh-huh.
Like had lost her book.
Yeah.
And,
oh my gosh, what's her name?
I can't think of her name right now. But they had to wrestle a ghost kind of thing.
Keep going.
So I was like, what is it with the skeletons and wanting to wrestle? I don't know. That was just interesting to me.
I was also going to make a comment about that because I thought he was in his house. Mm-hmm. And I was like, they always have these kinds of like loud conversations or like tussles. And it's like, where are the parents or whoever else is living in the house, like, totally unaffected by this?
Nope, never. they just always happen like that. I mean, in
but I wonder if that's a thing.
I don't know if it's a thing like you wrestle ghosts.
Like, I feel like we should look into that more.
Wrestle ghosts, get their treasure. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's better than trying to like wrestle a dragon.
Frida. Her name's Frida. There we go.
Yes. So Frida loses the book and then the ghost to clean her room, and she's like, her life's broken down.
To be a child.
To be a child. I thought it was like that was kind of funny. It's like I don't know if it's just like wrestling because like it's Mexico and they have lucha libre, or is this like ghost thing to like?
Is this like a ghost thing that's not as well like
Talk to-
discussed as other things?
Because I'm like, you know what? You can just like tackle down Annabelle, just like put it on harm hold.
Well,
and be
because
"Arr."
right, like you mentioned earlier during the Would You Rather, we have these like there's like I think 5 like main horror tropes that almost every ghost story follows.
Yeah.
And what do you do beyond that? It's more about how you're presenting the story.
Yeah.
But are there actually other kinds of tropes that have just kind of gotten lost throughout the ages, or we gloss over because it's like, oh, that's not as scary hearing about someone wrestling with a ghost or something. No, but I know it sounds like a
Bruce
silly
Campbell did
question.
Evil Dead. He wrestles his hand.
Army of Darkness. Oh yeah, in Evil Dead. Yes.
Kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's like it's interesting because and we talked about once again the main thing one of the main things we started Sims and Spirits was how come all these stories have so much different similar things, and they're not like they're all stories. They're not like they came out like when the internet was around, but they all have similar stories, similar details, and be like, are these things real?
Right. Well, and like so, let's take your previous example. Right, we have Hilda, which draws a lot, I think, on Scandinavian and German types of myths and stories and folklore. And then you have Mexico here, this wrestling skeleton. But it's a connection. How weird is that? 2 totally different places that normally would have no connection.
Exactly.
And yet they have a similar story trope.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I find that so fascinating. It's like, this is why I'm the silly person I am, but you can't tell me dragons have never existed in all these different cultures around the world. And they all have some sort of a dragon. And of course, the dragon's going to be different based off of where it is. I mean, the spider we encounter here in California is not going to be the same spider I encounter in the Himalayas or in, I don't know, Mexico. Right?
Yep. No, the spiders are different. Like I don't think I've ever seen a wolf spider before I moved to like Fremont.
Really? I mean, yeah, they're like Northern California.
The only spiders I remember seeing in Mexico are like black widows, and that's it. Like nothing else. Okay, and they had long legs, but they're not really spiders.
I mean, they're part of the arachnid family, but
like besides those two, like I like jumping spiders. I don't think I've ever seen one before.
But you guys have a lot of tarantulas.
I'm not where we lived. Too hot.
No, but they like the heat.
It was too hot.
Anyways.
Trust me, too hot.
Too hot. But right? Yeah. I mean, even like with all the different tarantula people we follow, the hundreds of different types of tarantulas, but they're all the same type of creature, but they all look different. They all actually live a little differently.
Yep.
So how come that can't be like a form of evidence itself of something more mythological, potentially having to have existed? Right?
Yeah.
Or proof of a ghost, but they haunt in different places. Or haunt differently in different places.
Did I tell you? I asked one of the employees if they believe in ghosts.
One of the directors? Yeah, yes, you did.
I did, okay.
And they had a funny
It was a
safe response.
It was a safe response of what it was. And I was like, okay, kind of thing. And then somebody else, when you were wearing your Winters stuff, like went off on the whole like Winters thing. The other director.
Really?
The one who asked you where you got it
from? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And when so I was like,
you didn't tell me about that one.
No, because
because of who it was coming from.
Because it was coming from. I was like, okay, this is just ramble.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I went out, but overall it was because like I've been testing as well to see like people like what do they say, what do they think,
right?
Kind of thing.
Because it's fun.
It's always fun,
right?
It's enjoyable.
We say that all the time. Somehow, you could have. I'm like trying to think of what's like the most like inconspicuous type of gathering where there's no reason for ghost stories to get mentioned. A work party, I guess. But somehow, someone, even your most skeptic of person, still has a ghost story to share.
Mm-hmm.
Or a spooky story. It doesn't have to be ghosts, but you guys get what we're saying.
Some
And
experience of
that's
some
what
sort.
we love. And it's so fun to actually get to chat with people about how, we have a podcast pretty much doing just that. Trying to spark that conversation because it's always going to come up.
Yep.
And what better way to make it come up than with a couple cocktails?
Yep. The more you drink, the more you believe. Okay. What's next?
All right. So we're getting ready to head towards our last call with our wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got some questions from beyond.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Now, I'm going to be honest here. These questions from the beyond are not necessarily submitted from questions from the beyond. But some people asked, I put out like a ask me anything on my Instagram, and we had some friends reply, and I felt that these answers were actually, or questions, these questions were more appropriate for answering on Sips and Spirits.
Sips and Spirits.
Yeah.
Come check them out. You can ask questions. You want answers? Come check them out here.
Yeah. I'm going to repurpose them if no one puts any questions in. If you're going to throw them on Cheers with Chelsea, I'm going to put them on Sips and Spirits.
There you go. So,
All right.
Questions. What do you got?
All right. So, first one, which is what prompted the whole idea, came from our good pal, All Hallows Geek, Mike. He asked, how many times have you tripped and fallen while in the Sips and Spirits sheet ghost costume? And the answer is, I don't think any.
With the Sips and Spirits sheets in the ghost costume.
Now, run into things or knock things over is a whole another story.
I remember one of the first videos we did, it was like, oh yeah. That was a little hard to do, like trying to walk up with Sips and Spirits things. But then I was like, I swam with it. And that was hard in itself. But it went on. I don't think I've ever fallen in it because most of our movements are not like over the top kind of thing. Like we done the one where the kids were chasing us.
Well, and I even did a romp through Spirit wearing the ghost sheets, and I didn't have a problem. I don't think I tripped at all there.
I don't think they're long enough for us to trip, but also I think we staged
so no sheet fits Eric. His sheets are not long enough. They don't touch the ground. I don't know if you guys noticed. We purposely film from our knees up. Very rarely do you get a full frame shot, and if you notice, they're not covering his whole body.
Nope. I'm just a lot of human.
But I have also figured out if I arrange it the right way, my sheet, which is total opposite of Eric's, and I keep my arms up, there's nothing to step on.
Yeah.
Thanks to my boobs and my butt. So
yeah.
We're good. We've never, I don't think, tripped. I think the only time maybe was when we were trying to dance with the the Thanksgiving one.
Yeah. Maybe.
But I would say that was more of a tangle than a trip.
Yeah. But we do stage our setup a lot to make sure that there isn't any tripping hazards. Always important to do.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure all those Legos are out of the way.
Yes. And whatnot.
And then we had, what's our favorite costume or cosplay ever done? Also from Mike, All Hallows Geek.
I've done very few cosplays from my life that I can think of, kind of thing. One of the ones I mentioned before here is my mom, for one Halloween, made me Super Mario Brothers when Super Mario Bros. Came out, and I had the yellow cape, and the thing was so itchy. I wanted to take it off. I'm like, Mom, I got hit. The cape's gone. She's like, No, you gotta keep it on, kind of thing. But I think my favorite costume that I ever done was when I cosplayed Sabusa in anime, because I made that sword out of wood, and it was so heavy, and I was so proud of it. It was so heavy. It didn't last past that day because I didn't enforce it properly, but I was so proud of that. Good thing. So that'll be my favorite cosplay.
Elvira is hands down. I feel like I become a different person when I wear her. It's so much fun.
She's like 6 feet tall when she wears Elvira.
I know.
She has the confidence of a Amazonian woman.
It's a very empowering costume. And I don't know why I get this weird glee when I have friends who are like, your Elvira cosplay made me really uncomfortable. And I was like, awesome.
Uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like too much boob.
Oh. I mean, you're too much boob all the time.
Yeah, I was like, do you not hang around me normally?
I guess not.
I can't help it.
I guess not, no.
One of my old high school friends.
Oh, well, they don't count. High school, what is that? That's not real. No, I always laughed at the interaction that, like, non-con attendees get from, like, your costume kind of thing. I remember that one year at a
I feel so lucky.
Kamikaze
I've
Expo.
always had like really respectful interactions.
Like those chefs one, like they popped out of the kitchen.
Oh man, they were like, "Can we please take a picture?"
It was. I think
you were like half talking to them in Spanish.
Yeah.
They were like, "Please."
I think it was the first Kamikaze Expo.
It was the very first one.
And
we went to 95 degrees.
The convention center's like restaurant because we're like we don't want to go out to get food,
mm-hmm.
and like the cook's like, "Oh my god, can we take a picture with you?" I was like, "Go for it." Go ask her. It's not me. It was very fun.
Yeah. We had people like shouting across the street, like the construction workers. You remember that? Like, "Hey, Elvira!"
Yep. It's always fun.
It's always fun. I feel like it's a blast to wear, and
I think that's why Cassandra Peterson has worn it for so long. You know, just because it's such such a
the
fun
reception you get from it.
thing.
Like, I know there are weirdos out there.
There's weirdos,
and I know there have been Elvira cosplayers who have gotten really weird interactions. So I do feel very thankful for what I've gotten to experience. I don't know, maybe like the confidence I just have in general just ends up like multiplying 1,000 when I wear Elvira. So people are like, we're not going to mess with her. Plus I have this guy here. I don't think I've ever done an event wearing Elvira without you with me. So I don't know if you're behind me like glaring at people.
I don't have to glare. You just have to stand there and people are like, oh, wait.
But, yeah. I don't know. People have a lot of respect for her. And or the character, you know? So I have a lot of respect for Cassandra Peterson. Just what she's accomplished. So it's cool to get to have that homage and carry on that legacy in a way, essentially. Yeah. So that's my favorite. We had
Which is your favorite Elvira that you've done? You've done 3 different ones.
I've done 3 different. Okay, well, original's always gonna win. One just it's like ready to go. It's the ensemble.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. I'm gonna put an idea in your head.
Oh
Make
no!
it go crazy.
Oh no! I'm in trouble, guys, because my whole Midsummer Scream outfit came because of this. Whatever's about to happen.
How do you make an Elvira Winchester costume?
Oh, I hate you. It's so hard not to use it. Drop some F-bombs just now, because I'm like, how do I make this happen? I hate you right now so bad, because I'm like,
to be continued.
I'm going to be up all night tonight.
To be continued.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway.
Hate you. Dang it. I already have a Winchester costume I'm going to pull off.
So now you got to make an Elvira Winchester afterwards.
Okay. Pumpkins in the window.
You didn't answer my question though. What's your favorite Elvira costume?
Oh. Well, I said
the
like the original hands down, but like I have a special like I loved wearing the Christmas one. It's always one I've been wanting to do, the Santa Elvira where she's got the red and the feather, the white feather trim. That one's always just been fun. I always wanted to do it, so I got to check that off my bucket list. But then it was also really fun to get creative and come up with the idea for the Elvira Tiki without having any reference. That was a totally original creation. And then to go and see Elvira while wearing the Elvira Tiki and her being like, oh my God, I love this. Like, I see that you're cosplaying as Elvira, but you have like a Tiki outfit, was really exciting for me.
Albus would be very proud. Albus would be very proud.
Yeah, so. But I definitely, if I'm wearing that, I can't wear that dress outside of Elvira because I feel like Giselle in Enchanted too. My dress is so low and my hair is so high. Or I should say it's like, the dress is so low, but my slit is so high. Because I didn't quite cut it right, so it really goes. It's up there.
Yep.
Yeah. Pumpkins in the Window asks, which by the way, awesome handle. What do the kiddos currently love about Halloween? Little Boo is easy.
Candy.
Skeletons.
Skeletons, candy. Little Monster loves dressing up. She likes the makeup aspect, yeah, but we don't. It's not that we don't let her wear makeup, but like we just don't put the time into it, kind of thing. She loves dressing up. She likes.
We like to make it. There should be a reason to wear makeup, like an event. I want her to feel confident in her skin.
Yes.
And feel like she is beautiful without needing to rely on makeup. Does that make sense? Why are you laughing?
Because at least this weekend, as she's very proud about it, I've been telling her like, "Hey, isn't mommy beautiful?" And her reply is like, "But I'm more beautiful."
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, yes, but
so like that's what we try to foster. So it's not like we are discouraging makeup, but I don't want her to become reliant upon it. So that's why makeup is more, we treat it as more of like a costume accessory instead of like, this is your face every day. Like, I only put on makeup really if we're going out to do something or I'm recording an episode here. So I want her to kind of follow that where she doesn't feel like she has to rely on it to feel like she's a whole person.
So yeah, I think for her would be Halloween accessories would be her big thing this year, kind of thing. I felt last year was like, she was really into Halloween movies.
But she's been enjoying, like, kind of helping, like, set the decor, essentially. Like, I have an idea, but she wants to help with it.
So accessorizing has been really her thing. So it's been really cool. And like Chelsea said, Little Boo's been skeletons since March.
Yep. Our whole front yard is all skeletons with the exception of the 2 ghost blow molds.
Yes, kind of thing. But yeah.
Yeah, that's them. And then Penny Snark asked, what historic figures would you invite to a dinner party? And I love, it feels like so on brand with all our discussions in this episode.
Historic figures.
I would say living or dead. She didn't specify, but.
That's a hard one.
Okay. I for sure, Sarah Winchester. Obviously, you guys saw that answer coming a mile away.
I don't know.
I also really love Queen Elizabeth because I'm Chelsea Elizabeth.
Oh, what's his name? Shoot. I don't know his name, but there was a revolutionary American who carried those cannons.
The cannons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
That dude. I will invite him over. Him and I will just eat some steaks, like tomahawks. Like,
yeah, if I could only invite, for sure, Sarah Winchester. I feel like there was someone though.
A little bit about me is I don't have historical figures that I go like, oh my god.
Vincent Price. I was like, wait.
You know, like
Vincent Price.
They're like, oh man, I wish I would have met them, kind of thing.
I know people say that would be more like a celebrity. But he is a historic figure. You have to think about his contributions in regards
to... I can't think of the top of my head anybody that would be like, oh my god, I want to meet this person and be like, you know, in the same room and just talk to them. Kind of thing. Like that'd be cool to talk to them, but there's never been anybody like I've been like, I'll go back in time and like talk to them, kind of thing.
Do you ever? Oh man, I just got like went through so many emotions just now. Because I just thought about the Doctor Who episode with Vincent Van Gogh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. He would be someone too.
Mr. Feeney would be cool to hang out with.
John Adams. I have a lot apparently. But like I think about like, and this is kind of connected. Those of you who can understand how my brain works will probably see the connection.
Nope.
But I was thinking about that whole Doctor Who experience. And it's like, I would love I'm sure there's even more people I would love to meet and interact with. And I feel like I would get to have like a very enjoyable, like camaraderie type of conversation with these historic figures. But at the same time, I feel like I would be so sad to end it. Because it would just be that one dinner party or that one evening traveling back in time to talk with that person. I wouldn't have that opportunity to, again, get to connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, I think about when we get to go to Midsummer Scream, we know we're going to at least get to interact with one or two of our friends that we've gotten to make through going to this event. And there's, even though it's like sad when we part, we know that there's going to be another opportunity versus I had one dinner party and I think about just planning an event and you get to the event, you don't actually get to enjoy the event.
Nope. It's like, did you just think of our wedding?
Yeah.
Like, we got to see like a quarter of the people we invited. Kind of thing, interact with them. Like, I'm hoping everybody had a good time.
I know we're way over analyzing this question.
Kind of thing. But no, like, that's always
But isn't that a funny way to look at it, but also a very valid way?
Would that be the same way of thinking about which celebrity would you like to meet at a convention? Like, you get to have that 2-minute interaction with them and that's it.
I don't know, but like, I feel like you're mentally prepared for whatever that brief moment's going to entail.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
versus like, I guess a dinner event would be like a more like intimate, like be with them for a longer time and get to them to be talk to myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I think just times have changed just because of COVID, and I think a lot of the celebrities that our generation idolizes, or even our community group that we're a part of idolizes, they're getting older and they just don't have the energy, or they're so popular they really have to get through their lines. I think about the few interactions I've been blessed to have with Cassandra Peterson, as Elvira, as just herself, and versus the interactions I've heard people recently getting to have with her are so different, because where she was given the time, I don't know if it's just how the events are structured, but some are really rushed through. It's just they're trying to get as many people through the line as possible.
Bing Crosby.
Yes. Oh, that would be very interesting.
I think he would be fun to hang out with.
He would be fun. I think he really would be.
Kind of thing. Now, I'm trying to think of I'm listening to what you're saying, but also trying to think of who would I want to meet if I get the chance to just hang out and be like, hey, let's shoot shop, kind of thing. But like I said, don't get me wrong, I have people I idolize and people I look up to, kind of thing. Be like bodybuilders, strongmen and whatnot. But I don't think of them as if I don't get to meet them, my life's not gonna be I would love to meet Rock Dwayne Johnson, but if I never in the same room as him, it's not like my life will not be unfulfilled, kind of thing. I have his messages, I have his words, the things he says.
Well, I think you need to think more specifically historic figures.
But yeah, even historic figures, I can't think of presidents or humanitarians or anything, kind of thing. It's
yeah. It's hard.
There's anybody that I'm really thinking about, be oh my god, that'd be so cool. Be yeah, I don't know. So I'll keep it to those two right now. Yeah, why not?
Sounds good. And that's all I have for questions from the beyond / Cheers with Chelsea's Ask Me Anything.
Laddie and Paler to ask them, hey, do you know girls fantasize about you now? As some kind of Dracula? What?
I mean, I even think, I don't know. Never mind. Forget it. I'm moving on.
Moving on.
Are we ready for our thanks?
Next call and last call.
Oh, right.
Thanks for sipping along with us. We want to keep those spirits flowing, so please be sure to show your support by reviewing and subscribing to our podcast. If you enjoy the show, be sure to share with others.
You can find us on all podcast hosts or YouTube, on our website, sipsandspirits.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or TikTok. Did you see what I did there?
That was there.
But if you don't feel like social media, we also encourage you to check out our email newsletter via sipsandspirits.com/happy hour. It's actually the best way to keep up with what's going on with this Elias. Keep up with this Elias. And I think we've been doing a really good job. Oh my God, that's so funny. He just showed me a calendar we have up, and it's like different cryptids, but it's like a sexy pinup calendar. I can't remember the artist. And it has a dryad on there in relation to what we were talking about.
Artist is Eliza Marie.
Oh, Eliza Marie.
Wicked Woods. Wicked Good Calendar for 2024.
So that's been a fun calendar. We get to look up. We have this little sexy cryptid pinup calendar in our bar, which feels very appropriate.
Very appropriate, I think. And whatnot. But yeah, come check us out. Come look at us.
Yeah,
listen to us.
This is the best way to find us. We share our show notes on our website. So if you were like, oh, I want to know about this or that, it's
we
there.
tried to anyway.
Hey, I got all caught up, okay? Finally. I know I promised it for like 3 episodes, but it's now all caught up.
But yeah. So anyway, let's call it a call.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sipping along with us.
Cheers.